Peppa Pig might seem like a normal kids' show, but what if it hides something terrifying? There are clues everywhere, and when you put them together, it gets creepy fast. One theory suggests that long ago, scientists tried to create life in a different way. They used vegetables, mixed them with almost dead humans, and turned them into something new. But something went horribly wrong. One of their creations, a human-gazelle hybrid, became a vampire. But this virus spread fast, and soon, the world fell apart. People lost control, turning into wild, uncivilized monster animals, hunting for blood. But some powerful figures didn't change. They stayed in control. One of them was Mr. Potato. He knew the only way to stop the madness was to make everyone forget. So, he created a TV program that played all day, every day. It wiped their memories, made them think they were always animals, and kept them happy. He needed help, though. That's where his old friend, Madame Gazelle, came in. She became their teacher, making sure they only learned what Mr. Potato wanted them to know. No history, no past, nothing that would bring back the war. But things aren't going as planned. Some animals are starting to remember. They talk about Rome, about dinosaurs, about things they shouldn't know. Their instincts are returning too. Mr. Fox, for example, doesn't just eat vegetables. He steals Grandpa Pig's eggs. Even Madame Gazelle, usually calm, looks terrified when she's near the predators at the zoo. She might be a vampire, but she's clearly scared of something bigger. Then there's Mrs. Rabbit. She's everywhere, working every job, but no matter what she's doing, she always rushes to be near the pigs. Why? Is she watching them? Protecting them? Or making sure they don't remember something they're not supposed to? This means that the world of Peppa Pig is a society built on forgotten horrors, held together by a lie, and Mr. Potato can't control them forever. And Peppa, she might not just be a happy little pig, she might be something else entirely. Then there's another theory that sends shivers. The vegetables won. They talk, they walk, and they tell kids to eat vegetables. Mr. Potato, Super Potato, Carrot, and even Blueberry all encourage Peppa and her friends to eat their own kind. It's like a pig telling kids to eat bacon, or a cow telling them to have a steak. The animals don't seem to notice anything wrong with it, but it raises a terrifying question. What if they've been conditioned not to? And that's not even the worst part. In one episode, Daddy Pig and his soccer team gather for a barbecue. At first, it seems normal. There are zebras, rabbits, and ponies, animals that usually eat plants. But standing right next to them, Mr. Bull and Daddy Pig. Two animals are most known for being used in real-world barbecues. What exactly are they cooking? Pigs are people in this world. So are cows, sheep, goats, and rabbits. And yet, nobody questions the food at these gatherings. If the talking vegetables are fine with eating vegetables, does that mean the animals are fine with eating animals? That's disturbing enough. But it gets worse when you think about the predators. What do they eat? Take Dr. Bear, for example. He's a bear, one of nature's biggest meat eaters. But in Peppa Pig's world, he doesn't act like a predator. He even visits the pig family without a second thought, despite being surrounded by what should be his food. But that's not all. Daddy Pig once designed a house for a family of wolves, the same kind of animal that in most stories is trying to eat pigs. Then there's the zoo. In Peppa's town, the zoo is run by a lion and a crocodile, and yet they live peacefully among animals they should be hunting. Nobody seems to be afraid of them, except for one person, Madame Gazelle. The real question is, if all these predators don't eat meat, what do they eat? Do they survive on fruits and vegetables? If so, wouldn't that make them eat the talking vegetables? Would that turn them back into carnivores? Maybe the entire town is under some kind of control. Or maybe Peppa's world isn't peaceful at all. Maybe it just looks that way on the surface. Maybe the cannibal food chain still exists, but it's hidden, covered up by friendly smiles and bright colors. 3.5. Here's another one. Peppa herself. She isn't just playful. She's bossy, rude, and sometimes even cruel. Most kids have moments where they act selfish, but Peppa, it's like she enjoys it. She teases her little brother George every chance she gets. She laughs when her friends struggle. She always finds a way to make things about herself. It's not just 1 or 2 episodes. It happens over and over again. Take the time she played Toy Prison. She invited her friends over for a play date. Everything started out fine until she decided her stuffed toy, Teddy, would be a police officer. That's when things got weird. Peppa, acting as Teddy's voice, ordered that her friends' toys be locked away. At first, it seemed like a simple game, but Peppa never gave them a choice. One by one, her friends' favorite toys disappeared into prison. And no matter how much they complained, Peppa didn't stop. She wasn't just playing, she was in charge. And yet, her own toy never got taken. She kept Teddy close while her friends stood there, powerless to do anything. She ignored their protests and kept going, as if she liked seeing them lose. Instead of playing fair, she made up the rules as she went along. And if anyone questioned it, she'd just say, "That's how the game works." But this is just one example. She acts like the world revolves around her, and the scariest part, no one ever calls her out on it. Even the adults seem to let her do whatever she wants. Could it be that Peppa isn't just a spoiled piglet, but something worse? Maybe she's not just acting like the boss. Maybe she really is in control. Maybe her friends and family don't speak up because they can't. What if Peppa isn't just a kid playing rough, but something bigger, something that thrives on power? Think about it. Peppa never learns a lesson. She never apologizes. She just keeps going. So maybe Peppa isn't just a mischievous little pig. Maybe she's something else entirely. Something that's always watching, always controlling, and always making sure that, in the end, everything happens exactly the way she wants. For Peppa Pig has been 4 years old since 2004. That's 20 years without a single birthday. How is that possible? Some say each episode is just a day, meaning only about a year has passed in Peppa's world. But that theory falls apart fast. The show has had at least 6 Christmases. If time moved normally, Peppa would be at least 10. But she's not. She's still 4, and George is still 2. It's as if time doesn't work the same way in their world. Or maybe it's not a normal world at all. There's a theory that Peppa Pig takes place on a post-apocalyptic Earth. Humans? Almost gone. The only ones left are the Queen, Santa Claus, and a pirate. Everyone else replaced by animals who walk, talk, and live like people. And look at their homes. Every house is built high on a hill. It's not practical. It's not comfortable. So why do they live like this? Because the world they live in isn't safe. The theory suggests that a massive flood wiped out most humans, forcing those who survived to escape to higher ground. That would explain the weird landscape, endless hills, no real cities, no ruins of an old human civilization. Everything is just empty. But if Peppa's world is a wasteland, how did she and the others survive? Maybe they didn't just adapt? Maybe they took over. Think about it. Peppa and the other animals never age. They don't grow up, they don't change. It's like they're frozen in time. And when creatures don't age, there's usually a dark reason. Something Monstrous? What if Peppa and the others have found a way to keep themselves alive forever? What if their secret is something darker than anyone realizes? They don't age because they don't need to. 5. Peppa Pig always wears the same red dress. Every episode, every day, the exact same outfit. Or maybe she has dozens of identical dresses, like a uniform she refuses to change. But why red? In Western culture, red is tied to danger, blood, and even the devil. Peppa walks around in broad daylight, smiling as if nothing is wrong. But that dress? It could be a warning, a silent message that only those paying close attention will understand. And her actions? They speak louder than her cheerful giggles. Take the time she discovered Susie Sheep could whistle. Instead of being happy for her best friend, Peppa went silent. Her face dropped. And then, without a word, she slammed the phone down. She didn't just hang up, she cut the conversation. A normal reaction would be surprise, maybe even excitement. But Peppa? She couldn't stand the thought of Susie doing something she couldn't. That wasn't just jealousy, that was something darker. If the cameras weren't rolling, who knows what would have happened to Susie? Maybe Peppa would have invited her over for dinner, but not as a guest. And this isn't an isolated incident. Peppa's greed shows itself in small, chilling ways. In one episode, she insists she needs glasses. Even though she doesn't need them at all, glasses aren't free. Her parents work hard to provide, but Peppa doesn't care. If she gets her way, what's next? Expensive toys? A massive mansion? A global empire? One of the 7 deadly sins is greed. Peppa doesn't just show greed, she embraces it. And that wraps up some of Peppa Pig's darkest secrets. Until next time.